and welcome to the Monorants wrap-up for Season 1 of The Boys. Join us for a no-holds-barred, spoiler-filled chat about everything we loved in the fantastic TV debut. Barring an existential crisis, I'm still your host and jack-of-all-trades Mono, and with me is my favourite and only co-host and master of none, Kira.
I have chicken legs!
Kira has chicken legs. So we have no creative crew to discuss, no summaries for me to mess up, so let's get straight into it. Kira, tell me what you loved, tell me what you didn't, tell me why, say some things so I don't have to. Yeah,
I hate it when you do that. What did I love? I love the
There's only two of us. Who else am I going to throw to?
A cat? I don't know. The ghost that haunts this house.
Pick one thing and tell me what you liked.
One thing that I liked. It's really, really hard. I think the translation from comic book to actual show, they have done really, really well, because now when I go back and I read the graphic novels, it is almost like a treatment for a show. Yeah. So it is like, it's very much, you look at it, and especially the ones that the first season are based off of, they're storyboards for what the show has become. I just think that they've taken the idea behind it and just run with it in a million different directions I would never ever think of going in.
Yeah, that, I have to say, that was one of the biggest joys of watching it the first time around for me, was it wasn't a straight adaptation.
No.
Like, and I was, before we recorded, I kind of was sitting there and thinking about, like, well, what storylines did they adapt for season 1? And they didn't really adapt any storylines for season 1. They just kind of cherry picked little plot points and cherry picked little kind of situations and characterizations. And I think I said it in episode 5 or 6 of our podcast that they've adapted the comics. They wanted to stay true to the comics without being limited by them.
No, they've taken the storylines and the motivations of these characters and placed them in a real world setting that you believe in. You believe this environment. They've developed that really, really well. And they've made each character extremely grounded and given them human faults and human flaws. And they react the way people do react, out of irrationality and out of fear and sex and money and love. They have all these drives, which is really nice to see, because a lot of the time, especially within the superhero genre, you see these people reacting in ways that aren't natural. So to make them human, have these human capacities at their core, even though they have these superpowers and they can do these amazing things, they still have the same fears and weaknesses, not weaknesses, but they have those same fears and doubts as your every man on the street, which I think makes it a lot more relatable. And then giving us somebody like Huey, who is...
He's the audience. He's definitely our audience.
He is. But he is just played so well.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's nobody in the cast that I dislike.
I don't think there is a weak point in that cast at all.
From an acting capability standpoint. Not like I don't like this character or that character or anything. Just in terms of the level of acting talent in that show.
Even to that point, I don't think there's a character that I don't like.
I didn't have much love for Ashley the first time we watched the show.
No, I love Ashley.
Oh yeah, I know. I know you love Ashley.
I love Ashley because Ashley is every like.
But again, I didn't hate her or anything. You know.
No.
I think in season 1 she's less of a character and more of just not a vehicle for exposition, but a vehicle to kind of show.
She's a corporate stooge.
Yeah, she demonstrates the Vought corporate stooge thing very well. You know what I mean? And it wasn't necessarily about her as a character.
No.
And then in season 2 we do get more of her as a character. Yeah.
Which when you go back then to rewatch and knowing what she's going to become, she becomes a lot more fun that way. Annie's introduction in this and the character of Annie,
definitely a high point for me. Yeah.
Overall, from the way she's portrayed in the comic book to now, is a glow up of epic proportions.
Oh, let's face it. Gareth Ennis is not great at writing female characters.
No, my most hated character in Preacher is Tulip.
Yeah, and Annie's definitely got more of a personality than Tulip.
Yeah.
In the comics, but she still
is very one-dimensional.
Yeah, she doesn't go through a huge amount of growth. She does a bit, but it's nothing like Annie in the show.
No.
She is just this whole... She's a complete character in the show, you know what I mean? You understand her fears, her hopes, you understand her motivations. You're with her the whole way through her journey. You know, you feel what she feels. And
her
a lot
devastation.
of that is Erin Moriarty.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, they put so much effort into characterizing these people and making them feel real. Because in the comics, a lot of the superheroes, a lot of the Seven, don't have much beyond their base defining characteristics.
No.
You know? Homelander gets a little bit, Annie gets a little bit, Maeve gets a little bit. But other than that, the rest of them are just very, very one-dimensional.
And they have little to no interaction with people in the comic books. They stick to themselves. They don't socialize outside of that. They don't have, and they do very much view, like, they live in a fucking floating fortress in the comic books, for fuck's sake. Like, that nobody can get into except for them and, the VP from Vought.
The Vought are much more front and center in the show.
Yes. They're a character in their own right. They are, the Vought Corporation as a whole is a backdrop to a lot of what is going on, and they're the man, to use a Wizard of Oz reference, they're the man behind the curtain.
Yeah,
pulling the strings.
In the comics, it is an important thing in the comics, but in the show, it's I think it's so much more of a focal point because it allows them to say and do a lot more about the modern world.
Yes. In
the comics, it was more about the Seven. And the show, it's more about the company.
Yes.
Like, that's what's more important.
They've taken a look back, and honestly, it is, what would the world be like given all of our technology and everything we have today?
Yeah.
But if we also had superheroes in the mix.
Yeah, no, they've updated it fantastically for the times because they've managed to work in so much to do with social media and the way Disney are in there owning everything and their cinematic universes, and I can't praise it enough for its satire and its parody.
No,
it's
and
so good.
It's it's such good satire, and so good satire is very difficult to come across. South Park are amazing satirists.
Yeah,
but they have their times when it's been a bit of a swing and a miss. This, for the most part, it's subtle. It's the little subtle nuances. It's everything from, say, in the shareholding meeting with that fucking video.
Well, but that's brilliant.
That corporate
that shareholder meeting is
bollockology video.
It's like a Disney shareholder meeting or
any shareholder meeting. In fairness.
The DC fandom events that they had during COVID.
Yeah,
it was perfect. And I mean, when they were
considering the company that I have previously worked for that was American owned and did have training videos that were almost picture for picture that video, I can appreciate the satire, the parody
of these mega corporations.
Yeah. And that all that they really care about is their bottom line, and everything that they do is to cover up and hide all the shady shit that is going on in the background.
Yeah. I think for me, one of my favourite things about the season, not singling out a single event, is just the realism in the show and the groundedness. We talked about it a couple of times throughout. I loved how, like, Doppelganger's clothes don't change when he changes form, how Translucent has to be naked. All of these little things make sense for real world superheroes in inverted commas. It just seemed like everything was thought out to the little detail. I know I talked about the old posters being put up underneath new posters for movies on set, and the two guys walking around flicking paint to make it look like bird shit. They just paid so much attention to detail, and so much thought went into making this a world like you feel could totally exist. It
is basically, I know it's set in New York. It was filmed in Ontario.
Yeah, in Canada, definitely.
But they haven't, in terms of set dressing, they've taken everyday streets and they've just added in these little touches around the place, which is what helps make it real. It's not like they've gone out and built these massive sets and tried to recreate something, and they haven't actually done the classic thing of wetting down the streets, which is a Hollywood trick of you hose down everything so then you don't see the dirt.
Yeah, they've left it, dirt.
And they've left the garbage and the overflowing and the graffiti and all of that thing. So it does make it does add to it.
Yeah, and it's not
You've
just
got like lost cat posters stuck up. Have you found this raccoon?
Yeah, it's not just all the A-Train merchandise or all the posters in Times Square. It's the Homelander cup in the dingy kitchen. It's the deep cup in Annie's house that's old and worn away. It's all the little stuff that you'd miss, but that really does add to making or the lamplighter logo on the moving van.
Yeah,
that's just passed over. They don't
all
make a
the
big deal out of
endorsement
it.
deals and all that's going on in the background that in our day-to-day world would be celebrities and influencers having these massive deals. In this world, obviously celebrities have these deals, but it's the superheroes that are more prominent.
Even the Association of Collateral Damage Survivors. But that's totally a thing that would exist in a world of superheroes. Yeah. And you never see it. The closest thing you see to it is it in Endgame when Steve is hosting a like survivors group for people who had other people snapped away kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's, the closest. And they try and address things a bit more realistic in their newer seasons like Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff. But the whole world, it feels like a world that exists and lives in, and is in many ways exactly like our own, except for, V was invented and it makes superheroes.
Yeah, and some are the lucky few who are chosen and they've been spun this lie.
Yeah, and I like how in the comics, as we've said, it's
in the wild.
Yeah, it's out in the environment, and it's known by a lot of people that V is a thing that makes superheroes. In this, it's only given to babies, and everything is kept under wraps.
Yeah, and
and I like the kind of conspiracy aspect of it.
Yes.
Over the way it's done in the comics, it's just a small thing, but I really like that.
I also like the fact that not everybody who works involved, like Stillwell, doesn't know about V. You very much get the impression that she doesn't know about it until it's brought to her attention. So even other people within the company who are quite high up don't know about it.
Well, I think Stillwell knows about it. Like when the mayor mentions it to her, she doesn't seem surprised.
No.
But I'd say there's plenty of people who, like Ashley wouldn't.
No,
Ashley wouldn't have a clue about V. And even when, in the last episode, when Annie calls her mom out on it, Annie's mom is like, "What told you?" Like even she knows. She was probably, had to sign the most severe NDA ever when she was given the injection, or when Annie was given the injection.
Yeah, well, it is. Here's this thing that can save your child, but you can't tell anybody about it. That must be terrifying. They must hold everything. It would literally be like you will get disappeared if you ever are discovered to be the leak of this.
Yeah,
Edward Snowden won't have shit on you. Like
we know how hard it is for any actual conspiracies to stay hidden, and this is. She says in the first episode they've got 2,000 soups across America.
Yeah.
So that's 4,000 parents who had to sign NDAs.
Yeah.
Who know the truth about V, and it's never come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those must be some airtight NDAs and some terrifying lawyers and enforcers.
Well, we've already seen the lawyers in it, with the lawyer that comes in to deal with Huey after Robin's untimely demise.
Yeah.
That, they do have it. It is a parody of the corporate machine, because you've gotten, over the years, we've seen different class action lawsuits going up against these big corporations.
Yeah.
For environmental impact, health, damage to health and things like that. And they just steamroll over them or just tie them up for years and years and years. So if you were a parent who had an incredibly sick child and somebody offered you this miracle drug and you've turned around now and are trying to either come clean about it or take them to court over something, you're not going to have a leg to stand on. You're not even going to get there, because they're just going to send Black Noir in the night to make it look like a tragic gas leak.
Yeah, there's either lawyers or there's, Black Noir's coming for you. One or the other.
Yeah.
I do love just how they show the powers in the show as well.
Yeah.
It's never overly flashy, and I was listening to the Boys official podcast, the one from Amazon Studios, and it's fantastic. If you haven't listened to it, it's like a behind the scenes documentary. They have interviews with all the cast and the crew and directors and Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and Kripke and the whole lot. But they were interviewing some of the VFX guys, and they were saying it was a fantastic project for them to work on, because they got to be really creative with it. Because say, for example, in Man of Steel, when Superman takes off, it's a big thing, and the camera focuses on him as he flies away up into the sky.
Yeah.
And they have to put a lot of effort into it because it's the main focus of the scene. But if, like, in The Boys, if Homelander's taking off and it's, you know, him taking off from a rally or taking off from whatever, they can have the focus be on something else.
Yeah. And
they can kind of fudge some of the details in the VFX, but it gives the effect that, like, or they always try to give the effect that it's because that's not important. People are so used to seeing people flying around, and it wouldn't be the focus of every single news story.
No, the focus is all the shit he's after knocking over as he's taken off.
Well, not even that, but like if Homelander gives an interview and then he flies away, in that world, the cameraman is going to stay on the reporter who's finished interviewing Homelander, so he can wrap things up. It's not going to follow Homelander.
Considering that seems to be Homelander's standard entrance and exit from shit too.
Yeah,
he exits stage left. Well, he exits stage up.
Or translucent. Obviously, anytime he's invisible, they only have to animate him turning invisible or turning from invisible back to visible. Yeah. Other than that, it was just a real clever use of VFX to portray the superpowers, and I thought it was really, really well done. There was I can't think of any scene where I looked at the VFX and thought, oh, that's a bit dodgy.
No, not really.
And the blood and gore were just spectacular the whole way through. Oh,
splattering everywhere. I particularly enjoyed Translucent's invisible explosion.
I liked the female sticking her eyes into the Filipino guy's face and then snapping his neck when she escapes.
Sticking her fingers in his eyes, not sticking her eyes into his face.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
God damn it.
I was like, damn, them some snail powers. Eyes on stalks. Gonna look inside your asshole.
The gore, fantastic. The VFX were fantastic as well. I really, really enjoyed it.
The one thing I will say is, yes, it was extremely gory, but none of it was gratuitous. Yeah. Okay, you've got the opening sequence, which is your introduction to the world, which is the two kids talking about, and the first thing that you see is an ad for a movie on the back of a bus. And then the two kids talking about the plot line and what they want to see, which is what everybody's done as kids.
Oh, yeah.
And then having Maeve, like, number one, breaking that poor lady's window, running across it. But that's... The kids aren't fazed by this... 2-3 people have just been brutally murdered in front of them by superheroes, and they're like, oh, cool, Homelander, selfie.
Yeah.
Like that, but that's very much the world we live in now as well, is that people are so desensitized to violence that they're like, oh yeah, you just mangled that guy. Cool, can I have a selfie?
We've seen worse.
Yeah.
In the real world than people being callous towards death that they've just witnessed.
But even
but it speaks to the realism of the show. Like.
You know, you've got a guy landing on a car 4 cars down there, splattered. But it's just that it serves to show you that already they have so little regard for human life.
Yeah, they do a great amount in this show. They do a lot of show instead of tell.
Yes.
They don't do big exposition dumps. They show you little things like that. Like in the very first scene, Homelander flinging that guy away shows you, okay, well, he has kind of a little bit of regard. He's certainly no Superman.
No.
You know, he's certainly no Superman if he's like...
They're clowns! Oh, okay, I can wipe them all out.
Yeah, they do. They show you a lot and they infer a lot without, you know, having to hold your hand and be like, and this is this and this is this. You know, there's nothing worse than a show that treats its audience like idiots.
Yeah.
So who was your favourite character?
Favourite character?
If you had to pick one.
If I had... Frenchie, I love him.
Yeah.
Everything about him, I love, from his insane introduction with the hip-hop and the guns and the drugs, and the big fucking pig head on him when he's squaring up to Butcher in the get-go, to him cooking a gourmet dinner for the female and setting the table for her, and the little crate, and giving her proper silverware, to him having complete and utter dumbfounded amazement at Huey risking his life to come and save them.
Definitely one of my favourite Frenchie bits from the season is
his reactions to everything, and his compassion, I think. Because he is, he's the only one. The rest of them are just when they find the female, they're like, what the fuck is that? And Frenchie lets her out.
Yeah.
His first instinct
not a great choice.
No, but his first instinct is, shit, that girl's been kept in a cage by mafia. Let's let her out. Without even thinking about, well, why is she being kept in a cage? He just sees a poor, scared girl. And then they all end up locked in the cage with that great bit following that fight scene where she's trying to swipe at them and Emmet's holding the door shut and leaning back and just screaming.
Yeah, the female introduction is fantastic. Actually, that episode is brilliant.
But Frenchie, I feel like very much like he's the philosophizer of the group.
Oh yeah,
he's the romantic of the group in that sense of
you're only an old romantic.
Yeah, like he sees. He wants the good life and he wants the joy, and I think he's looking for something more than just the vengeance. Don't get me wrong, he enjoys fucking people up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But he understands that there's more to life than that.
Yeah, well, you get that from him very early on when he's telling Hughie the story about the first person he killed.
Yeah.
And he's very much describing her
as a lover.
Yeah, as somebody would a lover. Frenchie, Tomer Capon is amazing as Frenchie. He really is, and he's one of my favourite characters in the comic books.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favourite characters in the show as well.
I think he's fantastically well cast. I just love the nut jobbery around him.
Yeah.
He's trying to calm down Hughie and he's like, here.
Offering him drugs.
Yeah.
The candy flip.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with you. I would pick Frenchie as my favourite, but for the sake of bringing him up, I'll say that if not Frenchie, the Deep. The Deep was probably one of my favourite. Because it was definitely the biggest surprise for me, because in the comics, the Deep is just kind of there.
Yeah,
he never does anything particularly bad. He never does anything particularly good.
And he's got that big old diver helmet on as well.
He's the only one who survives from the Seven.
Yeah.
Come the very end of the comics. And, well, not the only one, and he survives as well, obviously. But yeah, you never hear much about his backstory in the comics either. So he was kind of a blank slate that they could do whatever they wanted with.
Yeah, but in the comics, they never really, with the Seven, they never really develop a lot of them. Like, you've got...
No.
Okay, so Homelander is like your blonde psycho. Maeve is an alcoholic bint. Black Noir is very much just a psycho that shows up.
Yeah, well, I'll still save that spoiler just in case they ever decide to work it into the show.
No, but like Black Noir, you don't really get much on him. That he's the insane assassin. The Deep is just the fish guy.
Yeah, he's just there.
Jack from Jupiter is a depraved little pervert.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's a pervert.
And who am I missing then? And then you got
A-Train is the callous guy who kills Hughie's girlfriend and is just a dick to Starlight.
Yeah.
And he's just an all round. He's the frat jock douche character.
Yeah.
And then
you've got Lamplighter who's in it, but he's a zombie.
Yeah, he's a V-zombie.
So they don't really develop any of them. They're just there and they have these traits and their characters are very much set in stone. So having somebody come along like Chase Crawford and take the role of the Deep, and yeah, he is that douchey jock guy to start with. And I especially love the scene on the pier when he's like, oh, they only want me to do my big pretty dives into the water. Yeah. And Annie's just staring at him going, you have no... What?
Why are you even talking to me?
Shut the fuck up. And like the hypocrisy of him as well then when he's giving out, when the camera's on around, he's giving out about how they just want him to do the big pretty dives. And then he's like, oh, did you see my dive? It was fucking
cherry.
But I really enjoy Chase Crawford as an actor. I think he has brought something else to that role. Especially when he gets transferred to Sandusky.
Yeah, that's where he really starts to be fun for me.
The moment he cracks when he thinks he's going back to the Seven and they tell him he's not.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that much in the last episode.
No,
when
but
he has that breakdown and shaves his head. And
number one, that smoothie he makes looks like a really good smoothie, and then he puts like half a bottle of vodka in it, and I was totally on board with that. I was like, yes, I want to drink that. But that's the moment where you can see the light, the hope. He's like, oh, I'm just being sent off here as a slap on the back of the hand, and they're getting called up and everything's kind of gone a bit wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's talking about joining the Marine program because of all the mad shit that the
US... do with dolphins.
Yeah.
I can't wait to command my own unit.
Yeah. And then being told that he's not going back, and you can just see that last little, like, glimmer of hope die in him. On top of all the heart, like, okay, he's lost his position. He's just been finger banged in the gills by some crazy fangirl. He keeps trying to save animals and it's going horribly wrong.
He's a constant punching bag for the show. And I love all of it.
Yeah.
I just love all of it.
Culminating with him shaving his entire body and head.
Yeah, while crying and everybody hurts place.
He's that close to Thingy lying on the floor, crying, drunk, eating a burger.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Like he's a fucking good burger away
And
from that.
I love him just as much in season 2. He's even better the journey he goes on.
His breakdown is really well done though. Because everything is getting taken away from him.
And you believe him when he breaks down as well.
Yeah.
Like again, portrays the role brilliantly. Like from the height of his douchebaggery to the lowest of his lows after he's been gill raped. He's just so good.
Episode 8, when he's standing there butt naked shaving himself, he ain't got them tan lines no more. Everything's even, so he's been lying out butt naked in Sandusky, Ohio, getting him some tan on.
Nothing else to do.
No. Oh, there's a water park. Well, he's got Lake Erie, so he's been out like scaring tourists.
Do you reckon he spends his daily allowance just going down and buying lobsters every day to free them?
Oh, his $75 stipend. That and like fucking blizzards out of I don't know what the grocery store is. Dairy Queen. And he's like, oh, like lizards and stuff?
Totally unrelated, but one of my other favourite parts of the season was MM and Frenchie interactions. There's some brilliant lines.
Number one, the very first one where one pulls a gun and the other one pulls a knife.
Yeah.
And they're shouting at each other. That one that's interrupted by the phone call from Monique.
That where that French whore's going to get, or that French frog's going to get what's coming to him, and Frenchie's response is, the only thing that's coming is me on your mother's titties.
Yeah.
I love their banter. Their angry banter is just brilliant, and it's one of the better parts of the show.
But then when they're in the van waiting, when they're scoping out the noodle place though, and they're having the conversation about being monogamous, and Frenchie's quoting Jean-Paul Sartre about, and then being like, I get to go to sleep beside a different body every night.
Yeah.
And it speaks to like a long-term friendship as well.
Yeah.
And the past history that they have, that they're comfortable of, like they're debating philosophy, and Huey's just sitting there being like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the nuance of their relationship is really well played, because as you say, you can tell they've worked together for years, but MM has this one thing that he can't get over, which is the whole death of Mallory's grandkids and holding Frenchie responsible for that.
Yeah, well, he has a daughter, so he feels that more keenly than any of the others.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, if it was my daughter. And we don't really have a time frame for when they got shut down the first time around. No. But I would assume it was before the birth of MM's daughter. She's about, 6, 7?
She looks to be of a similar age.
Well, actually, no, I suppose she probably would. If she's 6 or 7.
It would be around the time of the events.
And it's only 7 years since Becca went missing in the first place. Yeah, presumably the first time when shit went down, it was only maybe 3 or 4 years in the past.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get more answers to what happened the first run around in season 3.
Yes, because it would be interesting to see, because you don't even get there's no real history of that in the comic books either. There's certain little like...
It's dotted throughout the comic books. You do get the full story by the end of it, but it's dotted throughout, and it's given to you piecemeal. Very much in the way that Butcher likes to give out information.
And lie about it. The characterization of Butcher is phenomenal.
It's fairly true to the comics, but they bring the bastard to the fore very early on.
Yes, there's no hiding how much of a dick he is.
Yeah.
They don't sugarcoat the fact that he's a dick, whereas within the original Garth Ennis run, you don't get the full scale of it until...
Yeah, you just...
quite late when it looks like he's having a mental break, whereas in this, he's out being a nut job from the start.
Yeah, and they go really interesting places with him in season 2, because obviously with Becca back, that's something that we never would have seen in the comics.
No, she died and he had to beat the baby to death in the comics.
Yeah, I really like the changes that they've made.
Yes.
Not just his character, pretty much any change they've made from the show from the comics to the show, I'm down for. I really am.
No, that's the whole thing that I was saying, was that the comic books are almost like a treatment now. Yeah. And it's like, here's the bare bones, go run with it. Here's the basic core traits of each of these characters. Now, make them come to life. Yeah,
and I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, that was one of the great joys of watching the show the first time, was that as we realised, they're not following the comics. it meant that we have no idea where they're going to go.
No.
Really don't. And the same with season 2 was stuff that we had never seen before. Season 3 looks like it's going to be stuff we've never seen before, but they're still taking bits from it. Like, I know season 3 is going to include Little Nina.
Yes.
And we're gonna get some version of Hero Gasm.
Bomb and a vibrator. That's all I want from Little Nina.
So yeah, I think they're taking plot elements and little plot lines and random characters, and they're taking them and they're reusing them, and they're doing it in really, really good ways. And so many even of the small side characters are fleshed out in much better ways. Like Raynor is fantastic.
Yes.
Raynor's brilliant in
Yeah,
this
because
season.
in Raynor in the comic books, it's not a very kind portrayal of either a person high up in the government or a woman in general.
No.
Because she's like hate fucking Billy the whole way through it. And it's very much, she's not portrayed in a very kind light at all. It does have like massive like misogynistic overtones.
Yeah. And that she's never much more than that.
Yeah.
She grows a bit of a spine in regards to dealing with Billy towards the end of the run of the comics. But in the show, she's got that from the get-go.
Oh, yes.
From the second she sees him, she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I don't want you around. Fuck off.
Yeah. How did you get in my house?
Yeah, and that's pretty much the attitude with which she treats him for the entire run of the season is a nuisance. It kind of goes back and forth between a nuisance and a necessary evil that she has to deal with.
Yeah, she has to deal with him because he can get her shit to do her job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know that person that you went to school with that you don't really like, but you have to do a project with them?
Yeah.
It's very much that. It's like you're just putting up with them until such a time where you can excuse yourself from their presence.
She knows he's the only one who can get the goods.
Yeah.
And she's really not interested until he comes to her. Like the first time he goes to see her, she's not interested at all.
No.
She's like, fuck off, I'm not giving you anything to do with the Mallory files. I don't want anything to do with your shit. But when he comes and talks about the V, and she realises the scale of it, then she's like, okay, right, now.
But that's also something credible that she can use as evidence against Vought. Like, it's not, it's like, okay, well, you've gotten, because the first time he's like, I need to get the files.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, fuck off away from me. But it's like anything else. So he's like, we have credible evidence. We have photographs of them using this stuff. You know, we have all of this shit that we can discredit them with. You know, she's not stupid. She's not a stupid woman. She doesn't like the superheroes any more than anybody else seems to outside of Vought.
Mm.
She knows that they're dangerous and that obviously being within the government and quite high up in the CIA, she probably knows the collateral damage figures and the shit that they get up to.
Well, she certainly know everything that was in the Mallory files.
Yeah, so she knows the shit that they're getting up to. So anything that can give them a legal basis to prevent Vought from doing any more damage. Yeah, she's going to pay attention to. Although, never mind the fact that all of her operations on US soil are completely illegal. So how she's going to take them down is beyond me.
Yeah. I will say that I liked how they're not CIA backed.
No.
In the comics, they're CIA backed from the start and pretty much the whole way throughout the run.
And they all have V powers as well in the comic.
And yeah, I was going to bring that up too.
They all have V, and
that was one of the changes that I thought I wasn't going to like.
No,
in advance of the show.
I like the fact that they have to use alternative methods.
But I absolutely love it in the show.
Yeah, because although the scene in the comic book when they inject Huey is hilarious.
Oh, that is, yeah.
And he's freaking out.
Talking about being turned into a freak and worrying about how he's going to rip his dick off the next time he tries to have a wank.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't read the comics, the boys are injected with like a stable form of V that just basically makes them super strong and super durable. It doesn't give them flight or laser eyes or anything crazy.
No, but
like that.
It kind of levels up their strength and durability so that then if they do go toe to toe with the Soup, they're not just going to get ripped asunder.
Yeah, in the comics it's great because it allows for big fight scenes between the boys and various super teams. And it's really fun.
Yeah.
But in the show, for the world they were trying to create, it wouldn't have worked to have had 5 of them running around with super strength because they're not going for face-to-face confrontation in the show.
No,
they're
it's
trying
all
to
sedition.
take them. Yeah, they're trying. It's all spy work and it's sedition. It's espionage and clandestine activities, and none of it's the most forward action is Billy at the end of the series.
The most forward person in that whole thing is Billy, because Billy's like number one. He's been given fucking Homelander the eye at various events. Like, he's just out on a mad one, whereas the other two seem to understand that you do need to have a bit of finesse.
And the version of Billy we get in the show, if he was powered with V,
oh gosh,
he wouldn't wait for anything. He wouldn't need the boys. He'd just have gone straight for Homelander the second he saw
it would
him.
have just been a big, like, smack him down.
So, yeah, no, I love this. It really makes them the underdogs.
Yeah.
They really have to work and come up with, ingenious ideas. Like, you get all the cool stuff with, like, Mesmer getting worked in and the bomb up Translucent's butthole.
Do you know men can also benefit from Kegels?
Using like A-Train's addiction to V against them, and they have to be really, really clever and conniving to stay ahead of the Supes, and I love it.
Even the one super-powered one member of the team doesn't walk away from her first interaction with a superhero.
She doesn't walk away from her first two interactions with the superhero.
Like, her interaction with Black Noir, she's dead on the street. Now, apparently she's a fucking honey badger because she took a nap and she woke up and she felt fine.
Yeah.
And then she comes up against A-Train and he knocks her out. So even though she has V and she seems to have this super strength, her superpower seems to be that she's actually unkillable. But she still has to recover from that.
Yeah.
She can still be eviscerated, and I'm pretty sure if you took her head off, she probably wouldn't survive, because decapitation seems to be the limit on a lot of shit.
They do call back to it in season 2 as well.
Yes.
So that does very much. That's her like power.
Yeah, but they also point out that it's been given to her as an adult, so maybe what they've given her isn't what they've been giving other people. Like, it seems to be
refined the formula.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because it's the Chinese mafia or whoever it is who has this, that, sometimes it doesn't work as well. So it also opens up that possibility that this is a mutation.
Yeah, it could be.
And she seems to have gotten the baseline of what everybody gets, which is elevated speed, strength, and durability. Only her real superpower is immortality.
Yeah, in the same way that A-Train is strong, but his real superpower is speed.
Yeah.
And Annie is also strong and durable and able to withstand being shot, but her real superpower is the blasts from her hands. And whereas Maeve's superpower seems to be super strength.
Yeah.
Because we don't see her doing anything else.
She can't really fly, fancy. She's not fast, she can beat the crap out of a load of people. She seems to have held up a bus full of school kids.
Yeah, strength seems to be, and she seems to be number 2.
Yeah.
Despite what the Deep says, she seems to be the real number 2 on the team.
Yeah.
So strength is her thing.
She's been around, she's been on the team for a good 20 odd years. She's been around and active since at least her early 20s. Yeah,
she says she's been on 23 was when she joined the 7.
No, 23 is when she saves the bus full of children.
I think that's what got her onto the 7 though. But yeah, so I think she's supposed to have been around for she's supposed to be our age. She's supposed to be mid-30s.
But she's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, and again, she's another one of those characters that's way, way, way better in the comics.
Yeah, Dominique McGilligan just is fantastic as it, because it gives
one of our own.
Yes. She brings not a warmth, but it's almost like a sisterhood. She hates her. It is very much that relationship with Annie, that she's like, oh, it's the new girl coming in, and she's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and she's fresh off the bus with her, like, big dreams of big city lights.
Yeah.
And she's the bitter old showgirl who will throw pearls across the stage. But as it goes on and she's watching Annie standing up to this corporation and standing up to all this bullying, she's like, oh, okay, hang on.
Yeah, this isn't...
She sees something of what she used to be in Annie.
I think she just, at the start, she just assumes that this, like everybody else, this is Annie's act. Annie's act is the all-American, good Christian girl. And she thinks that anything she does then, that when Annie makes her stand for herself at the Believe Expo, she still thinks that that's part of the new performance and the new act. She then realises, no, oh, hang on, actually this girl is genuinely trying to fight. She is genuinely like me when I first started out. And so much better than the comics. I know we've said it before, but so much better than Maeve in the comics.
You can see with Maeve as well, there's a lot of self-reflection from Homelander putting his fist through that guy, and she's like, hey, that's supposed to be my collar, to the events on the airplane.
All the stuff with Elena.
All the stuff with Elena. You know, she's starting to re-examine her position as well, and the things that she's let slip by. You know, the things that she hasn't been willing to fight for in the past. And realising that Annie's come in and kicked the hornet's nest.
Everybody in the Seven they're all much more fully fleshed out, rounded characters than in the comics, with the exception maybe of Black Noir, because he hasn't said or done a whole lot in the season.
No,
love him to bits.
Yeah,
love him to bits. But yeah, everybody's better.
But Black Noir really is that fun. He's that little mystery character, and you're like, if I turn my back, he's going to do something fun.
Yeah.
It's Homer being like, you can't make me come inside. That guy in the white suit hasn't done anything yet. And if he shuts the door, he can hear it. And he's like, oh no.
That's definitely who Black Noir is.
And so the most we see of Black Noir is that beautiful fight scene with Kimiko.
Yeah.
And he annihilates her.
Yeah, that's probably the single longest bit that he's on screen for. Is
him annihilating her. And there's so little sound in that. It's just the noise of the fighting. You get him, he's an accomplished pianist. He can breakdance. He seems to have all these weird little things going on.
And it only gets weirder and better in season 2. We still don't get we get a couple of bits that flesh out his character.
But he's
still much the same, just super, super dangerous Black Ops guy, and also random, unexpected comedic entertainment guy.
Yeah. Sometimes
both at the same time.
But he is it's fun to have him in reserve because he is very much a wild card. The boys themselves, the characters, all the character development, it is because it really is based in modern society.
Yeah.
And it came about at a time when the market was completely saturated. We were coming out off the back of the MCU wrapping up, DC's failed Justice League.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, definitely
travesty.
A kind of saturation point.
So it was people, but we also had the success of Deadpool and people being like, yes, it's an 18s, it's ultra violent, ultra gory, but fun and quippy. So to have something like The Boys come out, it was like the perfect storm for it because yes, it is violent. Yes, it is set in reality, but it's also got a point.
Yeah, it's a good deconstruction take as well. And in the same way that it happened in comics, it happened in movies.
Yeah.
That you got kind of the Watchmen comics and the Dark Knight Rises that were...
The backlash to the happy.
Yeah, examining these characters and taking them apart and doing different treatments with them. We're getting the movies like that now. We're getting our Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, your Deadpools, your Brightburns. Just they're taking things beyond the standard normal superhero.
Yeah.
DC
well, you've had that in comics for a long time. We've had it in comic books for a long time. With the likes of the Elseworld series and things like that.
But we're getting it now in cinema.
But it was also because people were, I think, getting sick of the MCU has been around for 11 years at this point?
Longer. What was it, 2007, 2008 was the first Iron Man, so 13, 14 years.
So for that long we've had comic book movies being extremely family friendly. Yes, they are sad and dark and but they're never to that extreme. And then in response to that you had the DC Batmans, which were almost too dark and too gritty, and you didn't really care because they were all
Batmans.
Not so much the Nolans. The Nolans I enjoyed, except for the third one that shall never be spoken about. But then when you get to the Henry Cavill Superman, where it was like
your Snyderverse,
it was too gritty.
It was too dark and gritty, yeah.
But it didn't say anything. It didn't move. Whereas this strikes a nice balance between being incredibly violent and gritty. I hate that fucking. It's really gritty.
Dark and gritty. Yeah, no, that was the buzzword for so long.
Dark and gritty
in superheroes,
which means everything has to be filmed super dark so you can't fucking see anything. Whereas this isn't. This is like real world setting, dealing with real world issues with this backdrop of superheroes over it. But the superheroes are used as metaphors for what is going on in the world.
Yeah, they're not the main point.
No. everything else going on around them.
Yeah.
Is.
Oh yeah. They're the lens through which the show is trying to address various issues.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not super preachy about it either. Sometimes they can be a bit heavy-handed, but
it's exactly what would happen today in modern society if we had superheroes. They'd be, if you could literally swap them out for influencers.
oh yeah, I don't think the show would be as good as it is or as popular as it is if it didn't have that level of realism.
No, but it strikes a nice balance between the two major film franchises that are out there. One that is quite family friendly and fun, and yes, they have made a history with the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Being able to do that to that scale, Kevin Feige deserves all the praise for directing and steering that behemoth. To, on the other side, DC going really, really dark and murdery, but it being too much of that. They've struck this really nice balance where you do have these little moments of comic relief and everything isn't shot through either a yellow filter or at night.
Yeah.
But they're actually making serious points and they're not going on to make light of those points.
No, and they're not being preachy about it. I know some people felt they were with the Believe Expo.
No, I
don't think they were being
enjoyed
overly
that.
preachy. Oh, it was great.
I think that...
But we're not Christian.
We're not Christians. But I think if Annie was going to stand up and have that speech at any other event, it wouldn't have had the impact it does.
Oh, God, yeah.
For her to stand up at an event that's called Believe and is about celebrating faith. And she's there going, I'm not going to stand here at something like this and lie to you. Because all of these people have been lying to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. That makes it an even more powerful statement. And even though she starts with the teleprompter and all that, and you can see the cogs turning, that she's going, I'm not saying this shit anymore.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't do this because I am you and I grew up in this. And she talks about that, about how she knows so many of the people there and this is her family. And she can't lie to them and deceive them anymore.
Yeah, Annie can only really tell the truth.
Yeah. You know, it's not right. It's not morally good. It's not how she was raised. It's not a good Christian value. She shouldn't be doing these things. Now, if she ever finds out what Ezekiel's doing, she's probably going to rip his dick off.
That'll take some effort, I'd imagine.
Oh my God, Stretch Armstrong. The corn syrup!
Yeah. But I think that's more or less, well, not all the things I loved about the show, because I love everything about the show.
Yeah.
But there were some of the things that I really, really enjoyed.
I think that was some of the standouts were those. Like A-Train's pretty much an asshole in the comics and continues to be an asshole, albeit a more complex asshole with an ego the size of a small planet.
Yeah, and insecurity issues to match.
Yeah. Bringing Cherie in, just a couple of little times you get Cherie, but...
Cherie's great, and she's not a character from the comics at all. She's an invention for the show.
Yeah.
I think she is supposed to be based on Frenchie's old girlfriend from his backstory.
Oh, the one that leaves him for
Black Pierre.
And then they have the dueling with the baguettes on the bicycles.
Stale baguettes on bicycles. And Black Pierre cheats by using a stale croissant.
Yes,
and
he
throws
it.
Spokes.
Mind you, if you ever hit somebody with a stale baguette, they do a lot of fucking damage. Even down to like Huey out on the date and his friend rocking up. Just little things like that, and telling the stories, like the story of Huey getting into the fight with your one and having to run away and hide behind a bag of dog food. Like, I know in the comic books in Highland Laddie, when he goes home and you do get his friends' storylines there, but it's nice to see it very much grounded that, because you're kind of there going, well, he's in his early 20s, he's got a girlfriend, he's clearly got other friends, even though he lives with his dad, but there's no contact from them. And to have somebody show up and be like, oh my God, we've all been looking for you, we've all been really, really worried.
Yeah, it would happen, because it's not like he's run off. He's still in New York.
Yeah, he's just stopped answering his phone after his girlfriend got eviscerated.
And he keeps going out to public places with Annie, like the bowling alley and the bar. So he was bound to run into somebody. Yeah, we get these little...
In fairness, I've been on the other side of the world and run into somebody I know. So walking around your home borough, you're going to run into people you know. But the way that they've taken certain characters and inserted them into new environments, because I don't think you get any doppelganger. I think is only really briefly mentioned within the comic books. But the fact that
no, he's not in the comic books at all.
But the fact that Madeline uses him as a pawn to blackmail people is so fun.
Yeah, and it's great that you see it's not just that Vought are like, okay, so you're a superhero, go out and save people. They're like, oh no, hang on. You can turn into, you're going to be really useful.
Yeah.
Today you're this guy, tomorrow you're that guy, and you're doing this. And the same with Mesmer.
The inside trading.
You know that he was doing that insider trading for Vought. They're using these superheroes not just for being superheroes.
It's to facilitate their own agenda
as well. For
for
whatever they can use them for. The way that they have Vought permeate everything in the show is just... It's so well done, goddammit. So well done.
But that it's all done through like shell, all the little fingers and all the little pies done through all these shell corporations.
Yeah.
Them using Samaritan's Embrace to move things around. Like that's fucking evil. Like
because there'd be nothing unusual about
polio vaccines being moved.
Yeah, but at charities going around to various hospitals, and even the Make-A-Wish Foundation stuff with A-Train. And
oh god, can you outrun dying?
And the superhero being interviewed about gun control. It's only a small TV spot.
Yes,
that's totally in the background. But again, these are all the things that build this world and show you how superheroes are absolutely everywhere. In the same way that we ask celebrities who are in no way fucking qualified about things like gun control and, human rights abuses and stuff like that. They're asking superheroes about it that have no fucking... The only reason they're asking him is because his name is Gunpowder.
Yeah. They're used, and you get that as well in the background when a lot of the time, they're giving out about talking points.
Yeah.
They've all had their media training. They've all been coached on what to do. You've got Ashley getting berated because A-Train hasn't been scripted and it's a car crash.
Yeah, you hear the phrase talking points a lot.
They don't miss a beat in using them to further their own agenda, be it political, financial, you name it. They have a superhero that they can trot out for that occasion.
Mm. And I think that sort of feeling that we get from the show speaks to having somebody like Kripke involved. Having a strong...
world builder.
Yeah, a strong world builder and a strong guiding hand. And I believe the two lads, Rogan and Goldberg, are quite hands-on as well.
Mm.
And even the likes of some of the producers, like Rebecca Sonnenschein is a producer. She's written 4 or 5 episodes. Phil Segretia is a producer and he's directed 4 episodes. They all sound like they were heavily involved in crafting this world kind of together.
Yeah, without it being ridiculous.
Yeah, and it really stands to the effort that they put in because it's an amazing show. It really is.
Yeah, no, you really, really do believe it. And you do believe that this could happen and that this is just a drug that's been developed that can do all these things and the rest of it's all a lie. It's The Great Gatsby, but better. It is, yeah. In terms of the season as a whole, 8 episodes was perfect length for it because there is a lot in it.
Oh, I'd eat up 22 episodes a season of this if they'd give it to me.
I think it would run out of steam very quickly.
Oh, you're right. I'm just saying I'd take all the books they'd give me.
It would run out of steam, and where they've ended this season is a good spot. Like you've got a good hold on the universe, you've got a good hold on who all these characters are. I'd say the most plot development has come from Annie and Hughie. That they're us going into this world.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I get you.
The 2 different aspects of it, of Annie going into the glitz and glam of being a soup and discovering that that's not all it's cracked up to be, to Hughie on the other side of the coin.
Going into the boys' world.
And discovering at the same time that Annie is that, because he's idolised them, that, it's not all it seemed to be. You've got them on very parallel paths. Then you've got the demise of A-Train. Not demise, but like he's slowly losing his grip on reality and on his position. And the Deep as well, loses everything realistically. He loses his position, his ego gets one hell of a bashing. He then gets violated in a very intimate, and in a way it is very fitting because it's something that he has presumably done to numerous other people. Oh, yeah. You get that when they're like, no, we're not just going to cover this up this time. For him to get a taste of his own medicine, and then even after that he's not as freaked out as he should be, But then you get his total collapse at the end of it when he realizes that Vought have essentially washed their hands of him.
Yeah.
And he's gone from being... Well, he kind of knew he was the butt of the joke anyway, because he's like, I'm just the fish guy, to they really, really don't care about him.
Yeah. Nobody in this series has a good time.
No.
Even all the 7 have a bad time. Translucent dies.
Yeah.
A-Train has a heart attack.
Noir's the only one.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Even Homelander has the rug pulled out from under him when he finds out that after all these years he actually has a son. Stillwell dies.
And that everybody in Stillwell's been lying to him. And their whole weird, fucked up relationship.
The Stillwell Homelander stuff is just pure gold.
That is somebody working out their own psychological issues.
Because in the comics, as fun as the Stillwell character is, he's James Stillwell. He's real like conniving and he's the guy who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, and he's totally the company man. Like I think I said, some of the way Edgar is in season 2 is kind of what James Stillwell is.
Yeah,
like
but
in the
even
comics.
Edgar has more personality than Edgar.
Oh,
Edgar is the blank corporate jock who, if anything ever happens to him, is replaced like the goldfish you get from a fair.
No, I don't know about that.
Like, he does hold a lot of power over the 7, but that's because he's the money, and it's always in the comics.
In the comics now.
In the comic books, it's always like, yeah, you don't fuck with the money. Whereas in this, it's a far more intimate, personal relationship, because he doesn't really have any relationships with them individually. He's just the man behind with the money.
Yeah.
Whereas having them live in Vought Tower and being so intimately entwined with everything that Vought is, and intimately entwined with some of its personnel.
Well, yeah, that the gender swapping from male to female for Madeline Stillwell just brought us so much excellent story.
And Homelander's mommy issues.
Yeah, the twisted Oedipal stuff, and just the interesting power dynamics that it gave us, because, as we've said a lot, sometimes on air, sometimes off air, but for a show that's called The Boys, it's mostly about women in power.
Yes.
You know, and the women are the ones who have a lot of power in it. Raynor has a lot of power over Billy. Grace has a lot of power over Billy. Stillwell obviously has so much power over Homelander and the rest of the heroes. Our only good guy is the female who's physically well powered. Yeah,
well, Starlight as well, she's claiming her power and coming out from underneath the shadow of her mother.
Yeah. To
step into the light and be her own strong figure.
And saves the day at the end of the season.
You've got that brilliant thing, her interaction with the little girl, where she's like, oh, you're in my uniform. She goes, yes, I'm saving up for the older one. And you can hear the guy...
Save up for the new one.
For the new one, you can hear the guy heckling her. And she's like, do you know what? No, I prefer that one. Mm-hmm. You stay in that one, where she's like, I'm more than just an object.
And women are never treated, well, to my view, you might be able to correct me, but women are never treated as objects in the show. Some of the characters do treat women and other people as objects, but the show itself, it doesn't over sexualized. I know Starlight's new uniform is supposed to be hyper sexualized, but the show itself doesn't seem to over sexualize its female characters. In fact, you don't see any female nudity. The only nudity you see full frontal from Translucent, and then you see man-ass through it. You never see any female nudity.
No, and the only time that there is...
And it's really refreshing.
Yeah, and like the one time that you do get it with this senator, she transforms into a large fat man.
And you only see her naked back.
Yeah,
if I recall, you don't see anything else. You don't even see like side boob.
But like the one the traditional conventional sex scene turns out to not be, because it's an old man tied to a bed being ridden by a 300-pound white guy. Yep.
Well, we do get the Annie Huey sex scene in season 7 when they're in the hotel. But
that's
again
done, everything's completely covered up. It's done as a very sweet romantic scene between two people who actually do care for each other. It's not dirty.
Yeah.
Not dirty,
I know what you
but
mean. It's not Translucent standing in the corner of a single mom's house jerking it.
Yeah.
Just before a home intruder comes in.
No. And it's not done to be gratuitous, like, you know, the atypical, like, Hollywood trope of the L-shaped bedsheet.
Yeah.
Where she's covered and he's not. Like, it's done very much in the sense of these are two people who do care very much about themselves, and we've just happened to be allowed a glimpse of this.
Yeah.
Whereas I very much would have preferred if we hadn't had a glimpse of the Stillwell one. I could have done without that.
Oh, the Stillwell Homelander sex scene.
Who's such a good boy. You're such a sweet boy. You're my big boy.
Yeah. The creep factor between Homelander and Stillwell, I'm trying to think of anything comparable in any of the shows we've watched that's not supposed to be intentionally played for, like, creepy laughs.
No.
Like, where it's just, like, that's...
When he's standing and it looks like he's just staring at his portrait, but he's watching her.
Or when she's pumping.
Yeah, and he's, like, making those, like, weird sucky motions with his mouth where he's like, and he's kind of, like, just sticking the tongue out a wee bit.
We haven't even talked about Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr is
he's a powerhouse of an actor.
I originally, when he was cast, he was like, who the fuck are you? Because I hadn't seen him in anything.
Yeah.
I knew he was a Kiwi, was like quite happy with that. Kiwis, I love a lot of Kiwi actors.
I can't picture anybody else in the role now.
No, he's so good. And I love the fact that he was saying once he's out of costume and his hair is its normal colour, because his hair is really dark brown, nobody recognises him, which is great. Because he doesn't really want to be
recognised all the time as Homelander.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Especially like if he's out with his family and his kids and stuff like that, he doesn't want people coming up to him and being like, ah. But he plays it so well. He
is outstanding.
The mood shifts are the bits that get me, because he swings from uber violence to charm.
And the friendly menacing, and I've mentioned it before, when he's being so threatening but in such a friendly tone of voice. He's just amazing. He's just so good.
I was actually really pissed off when they did the Emmy nominations this year and he wasn't nominated for one. The boys have been nominated for a few. They've got like
5 nominations, I think.
But it's all to do with VFX and editing and production. And I was like, if there's anybody who deserves one, it is him. He plays that character and the nuances of that character so well, because at his core, he's extremely troubled. He has huge mommy issues, which we've seen from the fact that he was raised in a box being observed.
Yep.
That he latches on to, he is very clearly latched on to Stillwell, who seems to have been the only person who has given him any sort of positive attention. And her lying to him is the ultimate betrayal, because everybody else in his life has lied to him.
Yeah.
So for her to do it just solidifies his disregard for humans.
And so much of his,
like, normal people.
So much of his life is based around lies of what he does versus what's reported in the media, and how he has to portray himself.
Because his watching the episode where they're having to do all the he's going through the house and they find his blanket, and that's where you get that flashback to all he had was this blanket in this blank room. And when he's having the conversation with Stillwell, and he was like, if I took you to a house and you had to walk through and tell all these lies about everything, how would you feel? And you do kind of feel that he is this little, at his very heart, he's this little lost boy who just wants to be...
He's a scared little boy who wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And
the only difference is he has all these insane powers and nobody's ever told him no.
Yeah. And there's no mustache twirling villains in this show. Everybody is nuanced. Everybody has shades of grey about them. Nobody's perfectly good or perfectly bad. No. Everybody has the capacity for both in them.
Yeah. Well, Annie, I think...
Annie is, like, she's mostly good, but she still goes against... You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing she does in this season that's particularly bad by any means.
No.
You know what I mean? But she's not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, but she is, I'd say, at her
she's
core...
She's the closest thing in this show.
She's a good person.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, at her core, she is a good person compared to Billy, who... Like, even Homelander, I don't think necessarily is 100% evil.
No.
I think he's... Whereas Butcher knows what he's doing. And Butcher has made that decision.
Well, I think Homelander knows what he's doing as well. The difference between Homelander and Butcher is Butcher knows what he's doing and he understands what the consequences will be and does it anyway. Homelander mostly knows what he's doing, but he isn't necessarily aware of what the consequences of his actions are going to be.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Butcher is that bit more calculated and doesn't care what the consequences are.
No.
But yeah, I could sit here and talk for another 4 hours about how much I love this show. But we're gonna have to call it somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Overall, for a first season of something, it's built an incredible world. It's built a totally believable world, which is especially in this day and age with with majority of shows who would they would either be set in the past or set in like an alternative timeline. They've set this very much real world, real technologies. They've made it a world that you believe exists, and the way that they've built the superheroes into this world, you believe that they've always been there too. And that in itself is a testament to how well the show was developed. Yeah,
the show wouldn't work if you didn't believe that central conceit.
Yeah.
I really don't think it would.
And the fact that there's a full history there, you've gotten to see the kind of dark side of things. Yeah. No, it's... I don't know what else I can say that I haven't said, or I'm going to have to stop talking at some point, I think. Because both of us are the same. We could just keep going and going. Yeah. And we still have another season to cover. Yeah.
Most definitely, starting with season 2, episode 1. We'll be back and cover every episode, much like we did. Season wrap at the end as well, I think.
Yes.
So, join us next week. And in the meantime, if you want to contact us, you can find us on Twitter at RantsMono.
Join us on tweeters.
Join us on the tweeters. Or you can email us at monorantspodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.